Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Well, guys, it's funny. I am sort of preparing, and like, I don't want to say mentally preparing, but I'm just sort of preparing a little bit because my parents, I didn't realize this. I remembered, I knew it was sometime in May. I couldn't remember exactly when it was supposed to take place. And I didn't know until this weekend. My parents are actually going away on their like an anniversary trip in, I think, on Thursday, and I think they're staying either until Saturday or until Sunday. I don't know exactly when they're going to be back. It was funny too, both my parents on Sunday, they were trying to figure out when they were coming back, if they were like leaving, like staying overnight still on Saturday night and then gonna be home like Sunday morning, or if they were like checking out on Saturday and gonna be back like Saturday evening or Saturday night. They didn't know, and then nobody relayed that information to me either, so I don't actually know when they were supposed to be home, but they are going to be gone. I know they're leaving on Thursday for sure, so I don't know when I will have a Tony's and Caputo's haul for you guys. I'm assuming that Jewel, maybe we'd be able to go more in the afternoon, and Meyer shouldn't be affected. But when they went last year, I want to say it was like they went because it was a bigger anniversary. So not gonna disclose what anniversary it was. I don't want to be aging anybody by saying what like I said anniversary it was, but they went last year for, like I said, it was a bigger one, so they went away further away. Like, they're only gonna be 3 hours away. They're not gonna be gone, I don't think, as long. Like, I think like most of the day Thursday, Friday, and then possibly Saturday. Maybe they're coming home Sunday. Like, that's only like 3 to 4 days, like an extended weekend. Whereas I think last year they were gone for like 5 or 6 days or something like that. I don't know. It felt really long to me. And I don't know why it did. Like, but it was, again, too, it was really awkward. Like, I think we couldn't like go to Meyer, and we didn't go to Jewel because I think they didn't get home, like I said, until like Sunday. Like, they might have been gone like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe came home Sunday or came home Monday or something like that, or like really late in the day on Sunday and then we're home Monday. Or I think maybe they did come home on Sunday last year, and then they were gone, like I said, probably a few days. But I don't know, like, it just seems like it was longer last year, and then when I'm thinking about it this year, I'm like, oh, it's only going to be like 3 days, whereas again too, maybe last year was only 4 or 5 days. It could have also only been 3 days. I don't know. It was kind of weird though, because like I felt like I kind of went a little stir crazy just like being in the house for like 3 days. But also too, the thing I will say is that it was really nice. Like, you know, like, again too, it was around the same time last year, so the weather was really nice the week leading up, and the week, like, literally I think the Sunday they got back, it was really nice. But and like it was like decently nice out, like, but I remember that there was like 2 days where the night before they left, I think the windows were open because of how warm it was out, like, you know, probably 70 degrees or 60 degrees, whatever. But then it dropped, it got freezing cold, and because me and Jack were the only 2 people in the house, we had no clue. We woke up and it was like an ice box in the house, and the windows were open but the furnace was running because of how like cold it was in the house. But the furnace kicked on because it was so cold, so it was trying to warm the house while the windows were open. And so yeah, it was not good. But then we figured it out, and we were like, we should probably close the windows because the furnace is not doing anything for us because it was so cold. But like, we were in like our bedroom, so like overnight, like, we had no clue that the rest of the house was freezing cold. Like, it was warm in like my room because my door was closed, and you know, like for Jack too in his room because the door was closed, and like, you know, he didn't have windows open or anything like that. But then in the rest of the house, the windows were all open and the furnace was kicking on. But I remember it being somewhat colder, not, like I said, not freezing cold, but somewhat colder last year. But we did do some yard work outside. I remember that was the first time that we ended up doing any yard work at all last year. It was that weekend that they were gone, and like I think when they came back on Sunday was actually when I power washed the deck. But like there was like a day or two in there where we ended up doing like some yard work stuff outside. Like we ended up, I think, taking the curtains down and like washed them, summer. We put the curtains up maybe or something like that, like our cabana curtains that we have around our deck. And like I think Jack mowed the lawn for the first time that year. He's already mowed the lawn like probably 4 or 5 times, honestly, because it's grown so fast because it's been so hot and it's been raining. And like I remember last year it was like around this time was probably the first time that he mowed the lawn. This time last year was like the first time that we kind of had like that really nice weather, whereas this year it feels like we've already lived through summer, like that it's like been 2 months already where we've had summer like weather on and off, like kind of inconsistently, but we've had like practically summer like weather for the last 2 months. So it's a big difference between this year and last year. But because the weather's going to be a little bit nicer this year, me and Jack probably, hopefully, if this week is still not supposed to rain that much, we'll still probably go walking, which means like we'll still be able to get out of the house and not be stuck in the house and not be able to do anything. And we didn't have a car to drive or anything like that. We do have a car if we need to go somewhere, but honestly we probably won't. Like there's really no need to. And the other thing too is having to leave the dogs here by themselves. The situation is maybe a little bit better this year in like that, you know, like I said, that we have access to a car this year, and then also to that the weather will be nicer, so if we want to be out and about more outside of the house we can, and we don't have to be stuck in the house. But I remember just being like, we haven't like gone anywhere in like 3 days or whatever. But also too, like I didn't go to the grocery stores at all that entire week, so like I hadn't left the house in like a week straight, even though like my parents weren't gone for a whole week. But because of where it fell, I think, like I didn't go to Meijer, I didn't go to like Tony's and Caputo's, didn't go to Jewel, like didn't do any of that stuff just because of where everything fell when they went on vacation. So anyways though, this year, like I said, will be a little bit different because we should still be going to Meijer tomorrow, and so I should still have that haul for you guys. That way I will have left the house right before they leave for vacation, and then should be able to go again when they come back. So it's not like I'm like waiting like over a week to go to the grocery stores, because I think that's what it honestly was. Like I hadn't left the house in like over a week, like when they went on the vacation last year. So the year before that though, I think Matthew was already home for the summer, and we did a whole bunch of stuff though. Like it was almost like our own mini vacation while my parents weren't here, and they are going to the same place this year that they went 2 years ago, where like I said, last year was like a bigger vacation kind of because of their anniversary, because it was a bigger anniversary. So they went, and like I said, they were gone longer I think too. But like 2 years ago when Matthew was here, like I remember we ended up doing a there was like some deal at Walgreens, like a couponing deal that we ended up doing. Then we ended up going to Dairy Queen, and then we came back and we ended up watching pay-per-view UFC fights because they were on that weekend. And so we ended up getting the fights, well my parents weren't here, and like I said, and got ice cream and stuff like that. And I think we ordered like pizza one day and stuff like that. Whereas like last year, me and Jack like didn't do anything. I remember like sitting out in the living room, like we just watched TV like all week until they came back home, which was kind of nice. But at the same time too, like I am the type of person where I spend a lot of my time in my bedroom, and like I spent like no time in my bedroom by myself almost at all. And like I don't know, it was just, and also too, like I remember it, I don't think it was cloudy and like rainy and stuff like that, but it was just, maybe it was 1 or 2 of the days that we were here, and that's why I think it got cold then or something like that. But I just remember like we never opened the curtains or the blinds in the living room either, just because I don't know, we were just really lazy. So like it just felt dark, and like I don't know, I felt like I was tired all the time. I was also not on a good sleep schedule last year at like this time either, and so I remember like being up like until like 3 in the morning, and then like going to bed and then waking up at like 11 o'clock, and like I was just in like a horrible sleep schedule like at this time last year too. So I feel like things are a little bit more in order this year for like, I don't know, it to be kind of better. But I don't know, it was kind of fun just to like kind of be in charge of everything, because like I think I mentioned this too when I said it last year, but like there's so many little things that you don't really notice that like other people in the house do when like, you know, and you don't notice them until they're, you know, again too on vacation vacation or something like that. My mom, you know, takes care of the house plants. What's going on with them? Like, oh, they look like they need water kind of thing. But I mean, like, she checks them constantly. Like, I might check them if I'm like, you know what, I haven't noticed that she's come down. Like, you know, she's been upstairs working kind of a lot lately, and I haven't noticed that she's been downstairs. Maybe she hasn't checked the plants, so like I will. But like that kind of stuff, like, you know, again too, my dad, you know, like taking the garbage to the street or remembering to take the garbage to the street, because like Jack normally does it, but my dad a lot of times has to remind him. He's like, don't forget tonight's garbage night, like you gotta go take it out to the street. Like Jack's in charge of the garbage and recycling anyway, but sometimes like if, you know, if somebody doesn't remind him, he'll end up forgetting. Like that kind of stuff too. Like, I mean, me and Jack are responsible for the dogs anyway, like he lets them out and I feed them. So like there's that kind of stuff, but there's just other things too, like I said, that, you know, you don't notice when somebody that normally handles those kind of things aren't here, and it makes you appreciate them a lot too. A lot more when they're not, you know, able to do those things, or they're not, you know, like I said, out there on vacation, whatever. And so I noticed that a lot more, and like those were the things too, like me and Jack like had, I think, kind of more responsibility, but also less. Like there weren't as many dishes, you know, because there's half of the amount of people that were here, you know, and so like whatever we dirtied, we cleaned up right away. Like it wasn't sitting around. There wasn't a lot more, like if like clothes too to like wash and stuff like that, doing laundry, like there was a lot less because nobody was here to dirty a lot of clothes, you know. It's just me and him. So like that kind of stuff, you know, like it takes a little bit off, but at the same time too, you notice there's other things, like also too taking care of the guinea pigs. Like we're gonna have to, you know, again too, whereas last year they were downstairs because the upstairs was under construction, so now they're upstairs. I have to remember to go up there and my parents' room where they are, and, you know, remember to feed them and give them water and like all that kind of stuff. Whereas a lot of times too, my mom checks on that more consistently than I do because they're in her room. So, you know, like I said, there's those kind of things that, you know, again, you don't notice that other people do until you have, you know, again, too, sometimes a list too of things to like be like, don't forget water these plants, or don't forget feed the guinea pigs, don't forget, you know, take the garbage to the street, like those kind of things. But like I said, like with the dogs, like we got their schedule down. We don't really need anything to be written down or reminded about doing that kind of stuff. But there's other things too that like mentally too, I think that's where I'm kind of preparing, like being like, oh, don't forget, yeah, they'll be gone during garbage day, so we have to remember to take that stuff out to the street. Like, you know, there's a lot of different stuff like that of having to remember those kind of things. So yeah, like I said, I remembered it was coming up, but for some reason, until somebody said something over this weekend, I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot that that was actually like this week coming up, that they were going away. So anyways, I don't know that I'll have anything fun to share with you guys. Like, you know, again, it's Thursday through Saturday or Sunday, because we won't really be doing much. We'll be here for the most part, probably. You know, the dogs will be here as well, but I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, I'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.